everyone, and welcome to the Committed Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jody, and each week we're going to be diving in deep, covering all things that help you step up your game, master your mindset, and help you commit to creating the life you desire. So if you're ready for that, let's get started. Hey there, and welcome back to another episode on the Committed Lifestyle Podcast. Guys, I'm super excited about the episode today. I'm just really fired up because this is like one of my favorite topics to teach on. It's things to know to get people to buy from you. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're in network marketing, maybe real estate, you're a coach or a personal trainer, or you're in a position where you sell things at your job and get paid a commission, this is the episode to be listening to. There are totally things I wish I would have learned when I first started out with having to pitch my products and services years ago. I started out as a personal trainer and I was like, people are just going to flock to me and then I'm going to train them. Well, I was never informed that I actually had to go out and get clients, and it was a struggle because I just had zero clue what to say. And so I had very few clients. 2 of my, I think 3 initially was my family members. And then I ended up getting started in a network marketing company. And it was kind of the same thing. I didn't really know how to go out there and talk to people to find new customers. I just started hounding all my family and friends and just telling them why they needed this product and they had to have it. And I just told them everything from A to Z about the ingredients and everything. And I never actually did it the right way. And so I got a lot of no's and it was really painful. But thankfully that was years ago and I learned a lot in the process. So hopefully this helps eliminate some of your painful processes and just speeds you up so that you can find those customers and clients a lot more quickly and getting them saying yes and buying that awesome thing that it is that you have. Okay, so let's first start out with the entrepreneurs. So you've made your list. That's usually first and foremost what we're all told to do is make your list. And I know you're super excited about the thing that you're selling and you are positive everyone is going to want to buy it because it's that good. And it just makes so much sense too, right? I know, because I know exactly what you mean. And it's funny because if you're out there laughing, you're like, heck yeah, she knows what I'm talking about. Trust me, I know, I got you. And so you get going, you start talking to everyone you know, and you're texting, you're Facebook messaging, you're Instagram messaging, you're emailing with everyone, your entire pitch before even talking about anything else, before even asking how they're doing. So if you've ever taken this approach, chances are really good that you got some canned responses of why they can't. Some, oh, cool, I'll let you know. Some maybe, oh, good for you, you're going to do great. You'll probably have gotten some, I'm already using, XYZ, but good luck to you. Or they just don't write you back. The ghosting. Ooh, that one's one of the most painful ones. Okay, so hold on to that. Now let's tackle the people who get paid a commission. All right, so you are at the car dealership or wherever you are, and you've got your money-hungry mentality. You got those dollar bill signs blurring your vision so much that you don't even know what your customer looks like because all you want to do is just sell, sell, sell. And when people come into your place of work, you pounce on them, try to sell them into the highest ticket item that you have, and you haven't even asked what they're interested in. So if that's the case, it's hard to admit it if it is, but if that's ever happened to you, chances are good you got a lot of no's. You maybe heard them say, I'll think about it and let you know. Or they just looked at you and said, I'm just looking around, and they probably left right after that. Or someone else got their business. A lot of those things can happen when you are in a space where you are selling by commission. Okay, so if either of these have happened to you, whatever category you fall into, it's super frustrating. It's so defeating and it has you doubting yourself, your skills, and it has you doubting your product or service because if they don't want to buy it, like who's going to want to buy it? It made sense to you, but this person that you thought was going to love it, like they're just not interested at all. And so then you're like, "Oh crap, maybe this was a really bad idea getting involved with this. No one's going to like it." But really, you guys, it's two things. It's one, understanding the law of averages, and it's two, your initial approach. So, first, let's talk about setting up your mind for success, which covers the law of averages. So, you really want to go into your line of work with the mentality of knowing that majority of people are going to say no or not now. And you have to be so okay with rejection. So if you're not familiar with the law of averages, it basically is something like this. Not everyone is going to say yes, and you just have to remember that. There is 3 different types of customers or consumers. You're going to have the hard-nosed customers, and this is the most common. This actually makes up about 80% of the people that you talk to. They're the ones that are super happy with what they have going on with maybe their product, their service, their life. They just don't want change and they don't want to hear your pitch. So that's just it. But the thing is, keep them on your list because something is going to change for them. But remember, there's lots of rejection. About 80% of the people you talk to are going to say no. All right. Next kind of customer that you have is a medium consumer. This makes up about 10%. They're kind of indifferent. On where they stand, they're willing to listen to what you have to say. They probably aren't ready to make a decision. But they're open to hearing. They're kind of like, "Oh, I never really thought about that. I haven't really taken much thought into that. I don't know if I need it." But yeah, you could go ahead and tell me about it. And you know what? It's like they'll just take that information and then walk away and absorb it. And I'm sure that this has happened to you. Have you ever walked into, let's say, Nordstrom, for example, and you are in there just to kind of browse around and they're like, "Oh, what are you looking for?" And you're like, I'm just kind of looking. They're like, "Well, we have this new jeans that just came out," and they start showing you like the new hippest pair of jeans. And you're like, "Well, I don't know if I need them. I've got some jeans." And then you get home and you start seeing those jeans everywhere. Everyone's wearing these like super cute distressed jeans, high-waisted, and you're like, "Oh man, that's what I saw. She was right. Maybe I do need those." Or you're the opposite. You're like, everyone's wearing those and I'm just really not into that look. It's not for me. That is the medium consumer. They may come around, they may not. It's just not the best time. Keep them on your list. Then you're going to have the easy consumer. Oh, we love them. They are the ones that are fired up, hot and ready. They want the change right now. They're ready to say, "Yes, let me give him my money," before you even have to pitch them on anything. And of course, these are going to be the most rare. Well, bummer. Why does that happen? Yeah, it's just the nature of it. So, can't change it. So you just deal with it. And you let those people be the ones that fire you up and remind you of, yeah, you can do this. If you can sell your product or service to one person and get them to say yes, you can sell it to another person and another person and another person. Which leads me to remembering that the more times you take action and the more times you get rejected, the closer you are to finding those that are excited to work with you or buy your thing. It's just the law of averages, you guys. So it's really important that you have a big list. It's just a numbers game. And the odds are never going to be in your favor. But if you want to win, you keep playing. Okay, so let's move on to that second thing, your initial approach. This is so important in all of your relationships, especially when you're pitching to a friend or family member. You don't go right into your pitch, you guys. Cold hard truth right there. Don't go right into your pitch when you're just getting started in your new venture. So people really want to know that you care about them first before they hear about what you have to say and what you have to offer. So whether you're texting, you're calling, or you're talking to people in person, it's all the same. You got to remember to ask how people are doing first. You got to bring something up that they may have told you before if you already know them. Tell them something that you did or that you saw, or something that reminded of them and that you wanted to check in. I know that happens to me. It's like I'll I'll do something, or like the other night I went to this really fun show and I had been to it before. And so I had ended up texting my girlfriend that I had been to it before and told her, I said, hey, you know what? I was at that show. It was so good. You would have loved it. Just thought of you. And I hope that you're doing really good. And man, people love that. Like, I love when people send me things like that. It makes me feel so good and warm and cozy inside. And this holds really true. I'm really speaking to the ladies because we're so emotional. Guys are totally different. Yeah, they care that, we think about them, but this is really speaking to the female entrepreneur, female to female. Guys, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you have a different approach. You can try to go this warm and fuzzy route, which I think works, and I don't see why it won't work for a guy, but you might have your approach that works for you. And you know what? Kudos to you. This is what we're doing in the female genre. And then another good approach on this initial approach is you can just, you can ask them a question when they have a second. And so some examples, because I just coached one of my clients. She's starting her personal training business and she's never had to, pitch anyone before. And so I said, okay, lay out for me what you want to say to your friends to let them know that you're personal training now. Write out your text or however you're going to contact them and then send it to me. And she wrote out this beautiful text, but it was her entire pitch. And so I said, okay, let's revise it really quick and let's try this. Let's break it down. You've said some really great things. We want to put that in there, but first we need to care about the person. So an example of what we did was we decided, and this worked for her, to say something along the lines of, hi, pretty. I hope you had a great weekend and I hope you're doing well. Would love to catch up. Hey, I wanted to ask, are you working out with a personal trainer or considering it all? I got something you might like. And the reason for this is because, one, she's showing that she cares. I hope you had a great weekend and I hope you're doing well. I would love to catch up. And then she goes into asking them a question because she's, now she's finding their interest. Are they going to be interested in this thing? She asked them the question, are you working out with a personal trainer or considering it at all? I got something you might like. She's just putting her feelers out there to find out if her pitch is even, worthy of telling them, because they might write her back and say, oh, hey, I'm doing great. How are you? Yeah, totally. Let's catch up. Would love to hear about what you're up to, blah, blah, blah. And then they might say, I already have a personal trainer and, I'm really super happy, or I'm taking classes right now, or no, I don't have a trainer. Never really thought about it. Just not really in workout mode. It could be anything. You're going to get an answer from them. And from there, they will show you which direction you take your text message, whether you keep it just friendly or whether they allow you to move forward to the next part, which is them giving you permission to tell them about what you're doing. So from there, let's just say that they said yes, they are interested in a personal trainer and they considered it. From there, you give them a small snippet of your offer and let them know that you thought of them and that they might be interested because, and then you follow it with a question or a sentence that has them answering you back. So for example, with my client, we had her let them know, hey, I just started personal training and I thought of you because I do know that you like to be super health conscious, and I know that we've taken some classes together, or I've seen how in shape that you stay, and I thought you'd be interested because I am actually doing whatever. And she gave her a little pitch. And then at the end of it, she made sure to follow it up with a question or sentence that basically they had to answer back to her. So what she said back at the end of it was, let me know if you're interested to know more. I want to make sure you have your ideal days and times scheduled in. And that kind of created a little bit of sense of urgency. And then she just was very, it's like so nice. It's let me know if you're interested. She's not stuck on their answer, but she's also making it revolve around them. I want to make sure you have your ideal days and times scheduled in. So she kind of put out there, it's not a no. She wasn't giving them the yes or the no option. She was saying, what do you prefer? Because she's just setting up the idea in their head that they will be training with her. So you really have to understand it's kind of like NLP stuff. You want to paint a picture in people's head towards a yes, towards, it revolving around them and that this is a good idea. All right. So that's, what people are, if it was a yes, like that's kind of how it'll go. But people are going to fall in one of three categories. It's going to be a no, a not now, and a yes. So let's just kind of go over that. And this is talking about when I said keep them on your list. So if they're a no, thank them and then ask them how they're doing otherwise. What are they up to? Do they have travel plans? Like what's new? Don't make them feel like the only thing that you care about is your thing. At the end, let them know that you'll check in on them again to see if anything changes and that you're really happy that they're doing good and, have a great rest of your day and things like that. And then you want to make a little note to do a follow-up with them. It may be 3 months down the road. It might be a month down the road. It might be, right before New Year's. You need to have this part figured out when you're going to be notating them and so they don't fall through the cracks. Okay, next people are going to be a not now. And it's going to be the same approach. You're going to want to ask them how they're doing, what they're up to, things like that. Again, you make them feel like you care about them. You genuinely need to care about them and that your thing is not the only thing that you care about. And then what I would really make sure you include on them is ask them, when's a good time to check back in with you to see if there's anything that's changed, in your life. I'd love to, see you try this out. I just really think you're going to like it and just kind of create a little bit of excitement with them, but let them tell you when it's good for them to be approached by you again on that topic. Make sure you note that, put it in your planner. And another thing that's really good to do with anybody and everybody that you're talking to is ask them if there's anything that you can do for them that maybe has to do with their craft or maybe your craft or maybe something interesting to you. So let's say maybe they're just not ready yet. They want to get their health under control. Well, let's say you found, something on Instagram and you tag them in it because it was something that you think could be helpful for them, or you make some content that revolves around something that they said they need help with. And you could even send it to them directly. Hey, I thought of you. I just did this and I thought of you. I thought you might like it. Really reach out to them and let them know that you really care. And you're just giving them free value at this point. You're not selling them on anything. They're not paying you any money. They're just seeing how much you care and that you're thinking of them. Or maybe they have a service or a product and you check that out and you ask them questions. They're more likely to come around and say yes to you. And this works for the people who said no, and this works for the people who said not now, and this works for the people that said yes. Showing a genuine interest in their life is one of the smartest things you can do. And if they have a product or service that you would be interested in, buy it. Spend money. It'll be worth it. You'll find out. And if you like that thing or not, and then they'll be more likely to buy from you. Okay, so next you have your yes person, and that's really easy. Just, again, make sure to build trust and rapport with them before, during, and after your time with them. Don't just take their, information and get that product sent out of them and never talk to them again, or, help them for however long and that's the only thing you guys talk about. Just really focus on people, and that's like the best thing I could say. Obviously, this approach works really, good for the entrepreneur, for the person in network marketing, for the person in real estate for the person who is a coach or a trainer, things like that, because you know, have a list of people, and that is the the life of your business, is having that pipeline of people. And when you're working in a place where you work on commission, well, it might make it a little bit harder to follow up with some of those customers, but this is where you get people's contact information and you send them emails. You ask them, hey, can I put you on my email blast of new inventory that's coming out, of new things that we're doing that you might be interested in? Is that okay with you? And you build that trust with them. You send them Christmas cards and happy birthday notes and things like that. You can do this if you're not an entrepreneur and you're in a commission-based job where you're not doing follow-ups outside of work. That's how you do your follow-ups with people, and you really build that trust with them, because you never know when they're going to be ready, and timing is everything. All right, so I can guarantee you will increase your law of averages by following this approach, and of not vomiting on people right from the get-go, but to take your time to show your interest and that you care. And another really important thing is keeping your pipeline, keeping it full. And you want to constantly be meeting new people and adding them to your list. You want to constantly be prospecting new people, and then having the other part where you're cycling through the people that you're following up with and checking in on them, and then focusing on the people that you are working with. There's a whole system to it. And it's really cool when you can kind of get this down and get it going. But in the beginning, when you're first getting started, it's going to be less follow-ups and a lot of new contacts and not many clients or customers. So just remember that this will change, and I'm just giving you the initial approach of getting started. I'll do another episode down the road on what to do when you're in the middle of your business and how to balance and juggle all of that. All right, you guys, I hope that this was helpful. Try it out. Try out this approach of how you're talking to people. Now, just remember, it's going to be a little bit of a slower approach, but I guarantee you that the long-term results are going to be better. When you learn to care more about people and show your interest in them and put in more work in the beginning, it's going to pay off more in the end. So if you do try this approach out, please let me know how it goes. I would love to hear. And if you like this episode or think of someone that would like this episode, please share it with them and share it with me. I'd love to hear what you liked about this, your takeaways, and all that good stuff that goes with that. Remember to subscribe and send me a DM on Instagram if you would like to. Love to hear from you guys, and I just care about you so much, and I want your success. So until next time, remember to make it amazing. This is the only life that you have, and you want to make it worth it. Much love to you guys. Take care.